host Butler at MSG. Coverage begins tomorrow at 6:40 on the ESPN New York app.
Michael K. is on the radio today, and he ain't afraid to say what he's thinking. It's the Michael K. Show on 880 ESPN Radio.
And a good afternoon, everybody. This is indeed the Michael K. Show. We thank you for joining us on this Tuesday, January 27th, 2026. Me and you for two. Those are the rules of engagement. The fastest 2 hours in sports talk radio begins right now. Now, I mentioned this last week. I'm thinking of putting together some merch for the show. So I came up with, TMKS, and then the outline would be MAY42. So my wife looked at it and said, well, what is that? I said, me and you for two. She goes, people are going to read it as May 42. They're going to keep asking, what does May 42 mean? I go, well, that's the whole thing. I want them to ask about it. She goes, no, you have to change it. So I was working with Graphics Joker, and now it's me, M, ampersand, Y, M-E, ampersand, U, 42. So does that work? So my cartoon logo, TMKS, and then M-E, ampersand, the letter U for two. Is that a hat or a T-shirt or a hoodie that you would like? Just thinking out loud. And the reason I'm thinking out loud is this. I'm hoping the powers that be are listening, and they go, no, we'll pay for that. Because right now it's coming right out of the Keister's pocket, and then I'm just going to give it to you. So do you like that theme? TMKS, me and you for two. Just spitballing here. So all the executives that are listening right now, reach a little deeper. Let's give something to our fans for being such great fans. I love them. I want to give them something. And it's great promotion. People walk around with this hat. What is that? Oh, that's the Michael K. Show. Monday through Friday from 1 to 3 on 880 ESPN, ESPN app, and the ESPN YouTube channel. See, I tied it all in. We got a lot of stuff to talk about today. And I want to hit all of it. So I want to get you involved as well. 1-800-919-3776. Now, I'll give you a driving update. Getting out of my house's garage, that was the killer. So I kind of live on a road where there are 5 houses. And all 5 houses chip in to get the road plowed. All right, so we did that, but we don't have the driveway into the garage plowed. Because I figure you just plow through the snow with your car. And it was a bear getting out. Rocking back and forth. Now, my SUV electric car, I don't know why this happens. I don't know if our tires are bald. I don't know if any of you have had this problem if you have an electric car. They don't seem like they're really good in bad weather. So I've always heard that they were good because with all the batteries, it weighs the car down. It makes it heavy. But Jody tried to get it out of the garage, and it just stuck in the snow. My Mercedes convertible, that actually was able to get through, but after a lot of rocking. And then Jody has a 25-year-old Toyota Highlander, and that just chews through the snow. But anyway, that's beside the point. My point is this. Once you get on the roads, they're clear. So there's no worry if you have to get out and about. You just have to get onto the roads. All the highways are clear, easy rolling on the West Side Highway, easy rolling on the Hutch and the Merritt and all that. So don't worry about that. I think every city, every municipality has done a tremendous job getting rid of what was a really, really bad snow. So congratulations to all of them. Not too bad. All right, we start today with the Knicks. The Knicks are in a little bit of a conundrum. Now, their win on Saturday against the Sixers, that was impressive to me. That showed me something. But it also shows you what exactly is wrong right now with this team. They have a KAT issue. They do. They have a KAT issue. And that issue is he's not playing defense, and he seems lost in their offense. I don't think that they're going to be able to pull off an Antetokounmpo deal. Rich Paul, the agent with LeBron, is trying to represent Giannis and saying, I could get you traded where you want to get traded to. Rich is a power broker, and maybe he can do that. But I'm going to let one thing out there for all of you. We all want Antetokounmpo, right? We all think, wow, this is the way to go. The guy has had 2 separate calf injuries this year. He's out anywhere from 4 to 6 weeks now with the latest one. He had a calf injury last year as well. Now, we're not doctors, but we do learn over time that what happens is calf injuries usually are a precursor to Achilles injuries. Now, do you want to get all of that draft capital? Do you want to get all of that talent capital and trade it to the Bucks for Antetokounmpo? We'd all go crazy. We'd throw a parade, and then boom, his Achilles snaps, and then he's gone for a year. You got to make sure. The calf injuries are too prevalent with him, and that is a little bit of an issue. I think the biggest thing that they have to do is they have to solve the KAT issue. They've got to get him comfortable in this offense. They changed the offense from last year. Mike Brown from Tom Thibodeau. Tom Thibodeau, more of a slower offense. This one, they want to push the ball. Not that they're fast breaking, but they want to push the ball. KAT seems lost. He seems lost. And when KAT is lost, then every big shot is going to come down to Jalen Brunson. And it's not workable. You're not going to win big games. When a defense only has to stop one guy and not have to worry about a second guy, they can stop one guy no matter how good that guy is. So that's a little bit of an issue for me. Another issue is they've become very, very dependent on Mitchell Robinson to play defense. And Mitchell Robinson's had to play a little bit more than they had wanted him to because KAT keeps getting into foul trouble. Also, there's a problem with the Knicks the way they're built. Their 2 top scorers, Brunson and KAT, are their 2 worst defenders. So when they're on the floor together, the Knicks are not as good a defensive team as when Mitchell Robinson's on the floor. Now, Mitchell Robinson and KAT is a better combination than just KAT alone. But remember, if Mitchell Robinson is playing with KAT, then there's somebody that's going to be sitting. It's going to be Hart. It's going to be OG. It's going to be Mikal Bridges, which leads us to another problem that the Knicks are having, and that's Mikal Bridges. Mikal Bridges is not playing well. He does not seem like he's a great fit in this offense. He kind of seems lost. And I've been a big supporter of this front office. I mean, the work they've done, I think sometimes we try to get too perfect, but you have to realize that when Leon Rose and company took over, the Knicks were a laughingstock. And most every move that they've made, most every move, has been unquestionably great. They've gotten the Knicks to the point where they are literally a championship contender. From 20 years of ineptitude, from 20 years of being a dumpster fire, they've turned this organization around. But the one thing that they have on their resume is giving up 5 first-round draft picks for Mikal Bridges. That will maybe be the black mark on this front office. Wouldn't you look at it differently now if they had somehow maneuvered those 5 first-round draft picks to keep them? They would have had to take some anyway because the Nets took a lot of those picks, and they made those picks already. But maybe trade one for a future one or something like that because the Knicks don't have the draft capital to go out and get a guy like Giannis. So any deal that the Knicks would make to try to get Giannis, it would have to be a multi-team deal where the Knicks would have to trade somebody or a couple of people to get a couple of first-round draft picks. And that's also something I've never understood about the Bucks. if they trade Antetokounmpo, they would want draft picks. Well, why wouldn't you want KAT? Now, is KAT a perfect player? No, but he's an All-NBA player. He was All-NBA second team last year. He's usually an all-star. So we sit here and put him under the microscope because he's ours, and we look at the things that he can't do. But he can do a lot. In the right system, he's a beast. So if you're Milwaukee and Antetokounmpo says, I want out, why would you completely break it down and be a bad team for years to come? Again, if you get draft picks, great. But draft picks are air until you make those draft picks. And you have to hit on those draft picks in order for them to work. You're telling me that there's no attraction for the Bucks to get Karl Anthony Towns? Yeah, I know you'd want Karl Anthony Towns and something. That I understand. But Karl Anthony Towns doesn't interest you? You get Karl Anthony Towns, they continue to be a team that's going to be a playoff team. Now, you can make the argument, well, would they be a championship contender? Well, maybe not. But don't you want to be in the playoffs every single year? I keep hearing that same thing. Well, the worst thing you could be is good enough to be on the back end of the playoffs, but no chance to win a championship. You got to be really bad. Oh, okay. You got to be really bad. How many bad teams, really bad teams, pull themselves out of it? Take a look. How many? There aren't that many. You have to be really smart. You have to draft really, really well, and you have to have an incredible amount of luck, like what the Dallas Mavericks had, in order to get the first pick to pick Cooper Flagg and build around him. But all these draft picks that teams desire, I don't know. You got to make those picks. You got to make them. And they got to be really high up in the draft. Look at all the 5 first-round draft picks that the Nets have. What has that resulted in? Now, there might be some pretty good players in the 5 picks that they made, but is there a needle mover? Really, is there a needle mover in all the picks that the Nets made? I don't think so. Now, you do want a first-round draft pick this year, and you want to be in the lottery this year because, the first real hard glance I took at what's coming out this year, this draft might be 10 deep with players that could really, really, really be great. I mean, you got a chance in an A.J. DeBanza. You got a chance at Boozer. You got a chance at a lot of outstanding players that are freshmen in college that are going to come out and impact your team. But would the Bucks get a top 10 pick? Would the Knicks be able to get a top 10 pick? And would they be breaking up the team? I'm not sure, long story short, on the Knicks that you want to break down this team in order to get Antetokounmpo. Because I don't know if you're a championship-level team then. If you have to trade OG or if you have to trade Hart, if you have to trade Mikal Bridges, if you have to trade KAT. Alan Hahn has said this for a long time. Make your deal during the offseason. So you have time to get everything together. If you're going to do it on the fly before February 5th, I'm not sure that necessarily is the right thing to do. I'm just not. I'm not sure it's the right thing to do. Now, Alan Hahn on Don Hahn and Rosenberg gave the latest on KAT and Giannis. Here's Alan.
As we get closer to the trade deadline, 2 things that I'm noticing. One, Karl Anthony Towns is just staying in whatever funk that he's in right now. He played 16 minutes and he fouled out. That's not a good sign. And then on top of it is this interesting report that Giannis might be close or almost fired his agent because he's frustrated because he's still in Milwaukee. And he doesn't want to be there. It's Mark Spears. And he said that the belief is that Giannis played his last game in a Bucks uniform. Think about it. He's got a calf issue for the second time this season. He expects to be out for maybe a month, but a month isn't the end of the season. So either he's getting traded or he's going to get shut down for the rest of the season with concerns over the calf. It's going to be interesting to see which one it is. Because if he gets traded at the trade deadline, then forget any future in New York. No chance.
There you go. And if the Knicks swing that trade because he wants to end up here, well, then they're not going to be a contender this year, right? That's why I say you go with what you have. You can make a move and trade a Yabusele or something like that. But if you make a major move right now, what exactly are you doing? You're losing any chance that you have. That's why you have to straighten out what's in-house. Another thing about Antetokounmpo that bothers me, and I like him, he wants the best of both worlds. He's not coming out and saying, I want to be traded. He keeps saying, I'm not saying that, because he wants to be the good guy. He doesn't want to be the bad guy. He doesn't want to be the guy who asked out of Milwaukee. But you can't have it both ways. Do you want to be out or not? Then say publicly, I want to be out, and I want to be traded to the Knicks, if that's where he wants to be traded. And that's why agents could be sniffing around and saying, I can get this done. Rich Paul says he can get it done. Can he? We'll see. Now, Ian Begley was on with DiPietro and Rothenberg, and they asked him, will Giannis be on the Knicks by the start of next season?
I would say that they would make a strong run, and I think that this is obvious, but I think it's worth saying. If Giannis is not moved here at the deadline, I think the Knicks and other teams would operate with the idea that they would go back after him in the offseason, because everybody thinks it's just a matter of when and not if on Giannis leaving Milwaukee. So, yeah, I think the Knicks would go hard after Giannis if they did not reach their ultimate goal this season. I just think about Miami, and I think that in talking to people, I think they're pretty well positioned down there to make a strong run at Giannis too. So if I'm a Knicks fan and I'm thinking about Antetokounmpo and getting him to New York, I'd be wary of Pat Riley and Eric Spoelstra and those guys in Florida, because I think they're going to be also aggressive in pursuing Giannis when it comes to that point.
See, but here's the deal. Where does Giannis want to go? Milwaukee will probably accommodate where he wants to go. That's why he has to stop being the good guy. Does he want to play for the Knicks? Then say, I want to play for the Knicks. Because every team you mention out there, Miami, Oklahoma City, Houston, they all put together better packages than the Knicks. The only way he's getting to the Knicks is if he demands that he wants to be traded to the Knicks. That's the only way. There's going to have to be some convoluted three-way, four-way deal in order to get him here. Begley then was asked what's going on with Karl Anthony Towns. Here's Ian on that.
Partially, I think, a comfort level with the new offense, his new role in Mike Brown's offense. Partially, it's foul trouble, which is something that you saw last year with Towns, but he was so good offensively, playing at an all-NBA level, shooting the ball so well that you kind of were able to gloss over it. But now it's happening almost nightly, and it's impacting the team. So I think that those two factors are at play. But it's up to the Knicks, it's up to Mike Brown, it's up to, I would say, the front office even to figure it out and to get Karl Towns back to where he was last season, because they need that player if they're going to go where they want to go, which is NBA Finals and winning the championship.
Where they want to go and where their owner has put the onus on them going. He said, we have to get at least to the finals, and once we get there, we expect to win. This is what he said on the interview that he had on FAN. And ever since he's had that interview, the Rangers have stunk and the Knicks have hit the skids. So there it is. You bring in a new coach, you fired the old coach, and if you don't get at least to Game 6 of the Eastern Conference Finals, the move was not a smart move. And finally, Ian was asked on DiPietro and Rothenberg, how surprised would you be if the Knicks took a big swing at the deadline?
I would not be super shocked because, Again, I don't think they want to do it, but if your edict is we have to make the NBA Finals, and let's say there's more evidence between now and I don't know, was there 6-5 games between now and the deadline, and you look shaky. Can you take that chance that this team is going to pull it together on its own as currently constituted when you've seen for the past X amount of weeks that hasn't been the case? Do you take that leap of faith, or do you decide to totally dismantle things because you have to reach where they have to reach this season? And so that's why I wouldn't be surprised, because the bar is where it is. You have to act accordingly, and that would be making a big move at the deadline.
See, but if you make a big move at the deadline, you're setting yourself back. You can't turn a team that you redo in February into a championship team by April. You can't do it. You're incorporating a new set of talent, and you expect them to be coalesced enough in order to make a run. How does that work? And if you also remember in that interview that Dolan did, he doesn't think they should make a big deal. He doesn't think they're going to make a big move. He said, I think we have the talent to do it right here. So he thought that they had the talent to do it right here. Was he right? Is the coaching staff saying now that they don't have the talent? With the talent you have now, other than bench players, you went to the 6th game of the Eastern Conference Finals. Now teams are soaring past you. The Celtics, without Tatum, they're ahead of you. Detroit, who you beat in the playoffs, they're so far ahead of you. The Sixers, I'd say, are on equal footing as you. The Cavaliers continue to lurk. Orlando lurks. You might not even have home court advantage. We all thought they were going to run away. Milwaukee was going to be out of the picture. Boston was going to be out of the picture. Indiana was going to be out of the picture. So what have the Knicks done? What's happened with this team? KAT wasn't lost last year. Now we know he's always had problems defensively, but offensively he was a force. He was that second option after Brunson. So you decided to change and rejigger the offense because one or two players complained that they didn't like Tibbs. And what'd you get? You got a team in disarray. So they host the Kings at Madison Square Garden tonight. This is a game that they should win. As I said, they had an impressive win Saturday in Philly. But can this team be consistent? And although that was a good win against Philly, the fact that KAT lasted 16 minutes, he's too handsy on the court. He plays defense with his hands, so he gets into foul trouble. And on top of that, he's not offensively the same player because he doesn't know what he's doing. He's actually come out and said that. I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing in this offense. That's a bad sign. It's not good. And then Mikal Bridges to be lost the way he is. Bottom line, and then I'll let you have your say, 1-800-919-3776. The bottom line is this. I don't think you make major moves with this team. Because if you make a major move, you are checking out on this season. And if you make a major move and the major move is Antetokounmpo with a calf injury, what are we doing? Because he's not going to be available for at least 3 to 4 weeks after the trade deadline. So when are you going to get him back? At the end of February? And then you have the month of March to make it all work. I don't like the chances of it all working. I don't. Steph Bondy, who covers the Knicks for the New York Post, is going to join us in just a moment. Then we'll get to your phone calls as well. A lot of stuff to do on a K-show on a cold, blustery Tuesday afternoon in New York City. Thanks for spending these 2 hours with me. I'll make it worthwhile. We go till 3 at that time. Don, Hahn, and Rosenberg right here on ESPN New York.
Prizes, flyaways, even cash money. You want it? We've got it. Find a list of all contests and official rules by visiting ESPNNewYorkContests.com. That's ESPNNewYorkContests.com.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Call 1-877-CARS for Kids to reach a friendly live agent. Donation's super easy, and your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Call us now, 1-877-CARS for Kids.
Donate your car today.
Did you know you can donate real estate too?
Who's ready to hit the ice? Get ready for another exciting hockey season with BetMGM, an official sports betting partner of the NHL. From same-game parlays to live bets, you can call your shot during any play. Rooting for your favorite players? You'll find all sorts of markets for betting on any star's performance on any given night. Don't miss any of the action on the ice by getting all your picks in with BetMGM. Ready to shoot your shot? Download the app today and make your bets. BetMGM. Make it legendary. BetMGM and GameSense remind you to play responsibly. See BetMGM.com for terms. 21 years of age or older to wager and physically present in New York only. Subject to eligibility requirements. Rewards may vary and expire in 7 days. Gambling problem? Call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369.
Hey, New York and New Jersey, Boost Mobile has an unlimited talk, text, and data plan that's only $25 a month forever, meaning you'll only ever pay $25 a month for the rest of your life. Who wouldn't want unlimited wireless when it only costs $25 a month forever? If you don't, you must be one of those people who enjoy overpaying for their phone plan. $25 a month forever is truly as good as it gets. So go online and switch now at boostmobile.com. After 30 gigabytes, customers may experience slower speeds. Customers will pay $25 a month as long as they remain active on the Boost Mobile Unlimited plan.
You remember what it feels like to move without thinking about pain? To get up, sit up, walk, work, or live without that constant ache? If neck pain, back pain, joint pain, or sciatica took that away from you, it's time to get it back. I'm Bart Scott. Dr. J. Shaw at Sandwell Pain is the guy you need. Ivy League trained, double board certified, no surgery, no scars, no long recovery, just precise, image-guided, non-surgical treatments designed to get you feeling strong again. With offices in Woodbridge, Livingston, and Inglewood, and most major insurances are accepted, there is no reason to wait. Go to SandwellPain.com. Relief is closer than you think.
There are a lot of reasons why people buy at Ramsey Mazda. It's their selection, it's their customer service, and it's their savings. Lease a new 2025 Mazda CX-30 2.5S all-wheel drive for $189 for 33 months. Start shopping now at RamseyMazda.com. Choose wisely, choose Ramsey Mazda. Call 833-853-2970 for details. VIN SM844-681, MSRP $29,075. Zero security deposit ends 2/2/26.
Looking for the best meat and seafood at unbeatable prices? Get to Wild Fork Foods. They offer the widest selection of meats and seafoods you'll find anywhere. Everything is blast frozen to lock in flavor and nutrients. From beef and poultry to seafood, pork, and even exotic and game meats, you'll get the best value for your buck. Visit one of their 7 locations across Long Island and New Jersey, or order online for same-day delivery at wildforkfoods.com. Wild Fork Foods, your neighborhood's meat and seafood market.
We are back, and we are looking at a pretty lopsided matchup, Jim.
That's right, Ron. I mean, in one corner, we've got a 175-pound guy, and in the other, a 6,000-ton heavyweight train.
Jim, this guy has no idea what he's getting himself into.
It's no contest. Every day, people tempt fate and die trespassing on railroad tracks. See tracks? Think train.
In a world in need of a hero, one man rises to the challenge in style. He is just driving the kids to soccer practice. Make every day feel epic in an all-new Hyundai Palisade Hybrid with up to an EPA-estimated 619 miles of range on select trims, advanced tech, and class-leading interior space. Because when you're hauling kids, gear, snacks, and backpacks, space matters. And so does comfort. Just make sure they keep their cleats off the seats. Visit HyundaiUSA.com or call 562-314-4603 for details.
Welcome back to the show. So we're trying to solve the issues going on with the New York Knicks. And always turn to this guy because I like reading him so much. He has a real good take on the Knicks, and that's Stefan Bondy of the New York Post, covers the Knicks for that paper. And he joins us now. Steph, how you doing?
Good, Michael. Thanks for having me.
What's going wrong with this team? We'll start with KAT. He almost seems lost. We always know he's been foul prone, but now it's to an extent that it hasn't been before. Is he just uncomfortable with Mike Brown's system?
Well, it's a good place to start in terms of KAT because that has been a problem since day one of this season. And, initially I was chalking it up to a new system. He was very comfortable with Tom Thibodeau and the way that Tom Thibodeau used him. And Mike Brown came in with these ideas of playing faster, putting him at power forward initially, where KAT was not that comfortable. But since then, we're now 3 months into the season. Since then, Mike Brown has made adjustments, has tried to get KAT going in different ways. Now, not totally. Now, there are some ways that Mike Brown could be doing things differently, but he has tried to make adjustments, and it hasn't really helped. And, I was talking to somebody yesterday, and they do think a large part of this is KAT is in his own head. And that's part of a funk when you're an athlete, right? So I think the shooting stuff, that he's in a shooting slump from three-point range. He's not doing enough post work for a big man because teams are putting a small defender on him. He's not really taking advantage of that. So there are a lot of issues, and you're right, that is the number one problem facing the Knicks right now.
All right, so, Steph, if you don't fix him, they're not a championship team. They don't have that second big scorer after Brunson, so I would think that that's got to be job 1, 2, and 3 other than the fact that maybe they trade him, which I don't think is a smart idea this late in the season. I don't know if you'd be able to like get everything together and make him a championship contender no matter who you got.
Unless you got Giannis, and I understand.
But he's hurt.
Yeah, exactly. He's hurt. But if you do get Giannis Antetokounmpo, who, in my opinion, is the second best player in the NBA behind Jokic, if you get him healthy for the playoffs, that obviously changes things. The problem is that if you're the Milwaukee Bucks, why do you want Karl Anthony Towns? If you're trading Giannis Antetokounmpo, you are then starting a rebuild, and Karl Anthony Towns on his big contract does not fit in that timeline. So there would be a ton of hurdles to make that happen, including Giannis being hurt and having to ask out formally and officially. That has not happened yet. But that is the one guy I do think that would make sense in terms of the win-now timeline that the Knicks are talking about.
There's a couple of things I want to hit on that. Well, people keep saying, why would they want Karl Anthony Towns? They would rebuild. But if you got Karl Anthony Towns, I mean, you can actually make the argument that they're still a playoff team. I don't know if they're a championship team, but why would they want to break it down and get draft picks, and then it's going to take years for them to be bad to get good again? At least they'd be decent with Karl Anthony Towns. I mean, he is an NBA All-Pro player.
I mean, that's fair, but, I mean, consider, like I said, Giannis is on another level.
Mm-hmm.
There are tiers, and Giannis is on the upper tier. And even with him, they have not gotten out of the first round of the playoffs for years. So now you're taking a player who is in a tier below. You're putting him in that premier spot. And he was in that premier spot when he was with the Minnesota Timberwolves, and that team was not making the playoffs consistently. They needed to get Anthony Edwards to put them over the top. So I think Karl Anthony Towns is not that ideal number one at 30 years old that you want to build around.
All right, the other layer to this is Karl Anthony Towns did get them to Game 6 of the Eastern Conference Finals with Tibbs as the coach. So why is that not doable right now? Why not just go back to what Tibbs was doing? Although one of the reasons you got rid of him is I guess you didn't like what he was doing.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of where the Knicks are at right now. I mean, now listen, Mike Brown has made some adjustments, like I said, but a lot of ways he's going back to what Tibbs did. This idea that they're going to be playing so much faster, that has not come to fruition. They're one of the lowest teams in pace. The idea that he's going to expand the rotation and play 10 guys, he's kind of taken a step back from that as well. And now you're seeing Jordan Clarkson not playing as much. Tyler Kolek is not playing. So, I think they are going back to a lot of what Tibbs did. And you're right. The idea, this is why I didn't understand firing Tibbs, because they got to as far as that team was going to go. And then you enter an Eastern Conference that no longer has Jason Tatum, at least not yet, no longer has Tyrese Halliburton. They were the favorites to emerge regardless of who was coaching. So why not go back to what you were doing and what was successful last season?
One more thing about this Knicks team in terms of what's happening right now. What's going on with Mikal Bridges? He had an awful game against Philly where he's actually benched. At least Karl Anthony Towns was on the bench because he fouled out. Bridges was benched. Is he not feeling it in this system either?
Well, he was in the beginning of the season, but you're right. I mean, he's really been struggling for over a month now. And the issue with him is the 5 first-round picks, and there's going to be that microscope on him because if Leon Rose did not trade for Mikal Bridges in 2024, they'd have those first-round picks, and maybe Giannis would be a Knick already because they would have had that draft capital to dangle. The thing about Mikal Bridges, though, is he's not aggressive enough, right? He disappears too often, and that too often also happens in the fourth quarter. So I think he's going to have to uptick the aggression. He's going to have to be a better point-of-attack defender. We have not seen enough of that throughout this season. But keep in mind also this. He struggled a lot last season during the regular season. And then the playoffs came, and he took it to another level. And that facilitated his $150 million contract, which he got in the summer. So we have seen him turn it up when it really matters.
Would there be some trepidation on your part, we're talking with Stefan Bondy here on the Michael K. Show, to get Antetokounmpo, who, as you said, might be the second best player in the league, but he's had 2 separate calf injuries this year, which sometimes is a precursor to an Achilles injury. Would that scare you?
That does. It does scare me because, like you said, I understand the Bucks are saying they're being overcautious with all this stuff, but we've seen Achilles explode from Jason Tatum. We saw it explode with Tyrese Halliburton. This is becoming more and more of an issue.
And Durant.
In the NBA. And Durant. Yeah, that would obviously be a concern. In the way that Giannis plays, it's based on explosion. So he's not a guy that I project, coming back from Achilles surgery and becoming the same player that he was, a la Kevin Durant, who plays, more to his feet on the ground. So, yeah, that is a concern.
The way I look at it, and correct me if I'm wrong, Steph, I don't think that there's any way Antetokounmpo becomes a Knick unless he sheds this "I don't want to be the bad guy" and comes out and says, "I only want to play for the Knicks." Because, without those 5 first-round draft picks, they don't have the draft capital to get them. And even if you, go 3-4-way deal, it's going to be awfully complicated to get. Doesn't he have to come out and say it? Because, again, he wants to be the good guy and get traded without any blood on his hands.
100%. And the Knicks, because they don't have the draft capital, are not going to win a bidding war. The only way this happens is if Giannis takes a strong stand, demands that he goes to a certain place, and Milwaukee says, "You know what? You were great for this franchise. You're the greatest player in franchise history. We're going to do right by you." And that's why I thought it was interesting. There was a report that came out yesterday from Henry Abbott from True Hoop, who used to work for ESPN, that Rich Paul has been working to try to represent Giannis, because with the pitch that I can get you I've done in the past, I can get you where you want to go. So I did think that was an interesting development as well.
Gut feeling, do you think the Knicks make a major move before the trade deadline or try to straighten this out and take this team to the finals?
I do think that we're not going to see the major deal. Unfortunately for fans who want a big change, but fortunately for fans who want to see them stick it out. From what I've heard, the Knicks are saying they are not shopping KAT right now. I do know they're talking to multiple teams about Gershon Yabusele. They've had interest in Jose Alvarado from the New Orleans Pelicans. They are looking to upgrade the backup point guard position. I think ultimately that's where this is going to end up. But you're right, Giannis is a big wild card.
What has happened with Kolek? For a while there, he was a revelation when they won the NBA Cup. He was a big part of it, and now it looks like he's buried on the bench. Are they really fixating on the fact that he doesn't play great defense? Because everybody said, okay, this is your backup point guard. Then McBride came back. All of a sudden he wasn't, and he's been fixated on the bench. What's happened with him? Yeah,
you nailed it. I think from the very beginning, since he was drafted, the big issue with him was defense. And the more time he's gotten on the floor, the more that's been exposed. There's also been problems bringing the ball up against teams that decide to press. From the very beginning, there was skepticism that Tyler Kolek was ready to fill those shoes, and certainly he had that big moment on Christmas, and he had I think 3 or 4 really good games. But the more he's played on the floor, the more he's been exposed, and the Knicks have decided to take a step back in terms of playing time.
I don't know if Jim Dolan has the capacity to feel that he was wrong, but do you think that the Knicks organization at this point said maybe we were wrong to get rid of Tibbs?
Yeah, well, it's certainly possible, but we as I've been saying from the very beginning, Mike Brown is not going to be judged for what happens in January. He's not going to be judged for what happens in March and most of April. What he's going to be judged on is the playoffs. And if he gets the team to the NBA Finals, which is certainly still a possibility, I don't think the Detroit Pistons really put fear in anybody at this point. They have to prove themselves first. Then none of this matters. Right? It's all about Mike Brown getting this team to the NBA Finals. And at that point, if he fails to do that, then I'm sure there will be deep discussions about, did we make a mistake? What do you think the biggest impediment is?
Would it be the Celtics if they get back Tatum? Would it be Cleveland finally coming together with all of their injuries and starting to play well? You say you don't look at the Pistons as eliciting any fear in people. What's the team that worries you the most right now? And Philadelphia, I think, although the Knicks beat them on Saturday, that's a really good team.
Yeah, if I were to rank them, I'd say the Celtics because of that, because they're playing really well. Jaylen Brown's been tremendous, and it feels like Jason Tatum is going to be back in time for the playoffs. I'd put them as the number one threat. Then I tried to downplay the Pistons, but they are playing amazing. They're very athletic. And when the Knicks went there to Detroit recently, they just got the doors blown off them. They looked terrible. They looked like they couldn't even compete. So yeah, those are probably the two teams. I am waiting for Cleveland to get it together. I don't think their front court combo is built for the playoffs. I'm talking about Jared Allen and the former defensive player of the year. I don't think they've really shown themselves in the playoffs yet. But if I were to rank them, I'd say the Knicks are in the tier with the Detroit Pistons and the Boston Celtics, and those are the clear 3 favorites right now.
Steph, I respect your opinion so much. Did you think that on this day in January that the Knicks would be struggling to this extent?
No, because I looked at the landscape of the Eastern Conference. I looked at their schedule. Certainly when they got out of the NBA Cup, I thought they were just going to start cruising. And, this was a team that had a lot to prove just because they fired their coach, and the expectation was made very clear. This is a NBA Finals or bust season, and I thought they were going to rise to the moment in the regular season, maybe get the first number 1 seed in the Eastern Conference for this franchise since the early 90s. But, they've hit adversity. And, we talked about it from the very beginning, and to bring this back full circle, a lot of this is just getting KAT going, and they haven't been able to do that.
So fascinating. And to finish it up, I'm not sure how much outside noise affects players. I mean, they're in their own little world, but this has all gone downhill since Jim Dolan had that interview on FAN where he said we're expected to go to the finals and we should win. Do you think that affected the team? Did it affect the coaching staff that, hey, the owner just put the onus on us? This is championship or bust?
I don't think so. First of all, I think it was in the middle. They had already lost 2 in a row. The slide had already started. It was in the very beginning of it. And what Jim Dolan said on that radio station is not something that was surprising to these players. This is what's been talked about internally. Everybody knows the deal. When you fire a coach who made the conference finals, who got to Game 6 of the conference finals, beat the defending champion Celtics, you fire him because that wasn't good enough. I mean, the expectation is pretty clear. You got to make the NBA Finals at least.
Now, Steph, I always wonder about this because I know how I'm wired. And you know the guy, you covered him. Do you think that somewhere in Connecticut, Tom Thibodeau is giggling?
Yeah, he's counting his money.
And
he
giggling.
got that extension. He got that extension, and it didn't even start, and he was fired. So that was the one benefit to getting fired. When he did, he's got $30 million plus to just. And I still think he's going to be a coach in this league. I know when he left, he was already the oldest in the NBA at that point because Greg Popovich was gone at that point, so he was the oldest. But I still think there are teams like the Washington Wizards who look at Tom Thibodeau and say, you know what, this guy is the perfect guy to build from the ground up and get our franchise going. So, this was his dream job. The Knicks, there was definitely a lot of bitterness about the way it finished and why it finished, but I think he's going to land on his feet.
Good stuff. Look forward to reading you tomorrow. Big game tonight. We appreciate your time as always, Steph. Was he there? Well, thank you. You don't have to say thank you back. I appreciate it.
Sorry. Oh, thank you. Sorry. I cut out. I cut out there. I wasn't trying to be rude.
No, I know. I knew it had to be a technical issue. Well, thank you anyway. We look forward to reading you tomorrow.
Thanks.
That's Steph Bondy, 1-800-919-3776. When we get back, you get involved. You give your take. What do you think is going on 7th Avenue? What's going on at Madison Square Garden? There's a game tonight. We'll talk about it with you when we get back right here on the K Show, ESPN New York.
Presented by Robinhood.
He crosses, spins, pulls up.
With Robinhood Prediction Markets, buy or sell your predictions all game long. No house odds, just you versus the market. Put your sports IQ to work. Trade every shot, block, steal, run, and moment that shifts the game. With Robinhood Prediction Markets, trade every play. Visit Robinhood.com/predict to start trading. Futures and cleared swaps trading involves significant risk and is not appropriate for everyone. Event contracts are offered by Robinhood Derivatives LLC, a registered futures commission merchant and swap firm.
At Uline, the prevailing opinion is, if you don't live it, you don't believe it. The people at Uline believe in hard work, and they live it by being there 24/7 to answer your call, having 41,000 items in stock, and offering same-day shipping from 12 locations across North America. Business owners, sellers, buyers, shippers, and packers believe it. Uline is the hard-working, dependable source for your shipping and industrial supplies. Visit uline.com.
Hey,
Hey, sorry I missed you. Your call is very important to me. Just not as important as the New Jersey Lottery's Green Ball promotion being back on Pick 3 evening drawings. See, if the green ball's drawn, that's a free second chance to win? So, yeah, you get it. It's only through February 1st, though, so try me after then?
Must be 18 or older to buy a lottery ticket. Please play responsibly. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. For game odds and promotion details, visit njlottery.com/pick3.
This is Rick Brunson, the assistant coach from the New York Knicks. I'll be driving to our games this season in style in my new Jeep Gladiator from Princeton Jeep. My friends at Princeton Jeep gave me all-star treatment, and you can expect the same thing. Just mention I sent you, and they'll treat you like family. Princeton Jeep has tons of inventory and great deals on new vehicles. Visit Princeton Jeep at 1045 State Road in Princeton, New Jersey, or online at PrincetonJeeps.com and tell them Rick Brunson sent you.
All the way over Barzell, score! New York Islanders hockey is back at UBS Arena, and it's time to bring the family and make some noise. With more afternoon games this season, the Islanders have special kids-themed games and activities for young fans. Play games pregame at the park and head inside for fun on the concourse and on the ice. Tickets for the 2025-26 season are on sale now. Get your tickets at NewYorkIslanders.com.
Not all F words are bad. Some are actually great, like fast, free fiber for 4 months. Yep, switch to Optimum Fiber for as low as $25 a month. Plus, for a limited time, you can get 4 months free, HBO Max included for 1 year, and a 5-year price lock. Don't wait, this free fiber deal won't last long, and the fastest, most reliable, most consistent internet speeds await you. Call 888-4-OPTIMUM or visit Optimum.com/free today. Terms apply. See Optimum.com for details.
More people trust their hearts to New York Presbyterian than any other hospital in New York. It's because New York Presbyterian has the most experienced cardiovascular doctors, treating a full range of heart conditions, from heart failure to valve repair, with the most advanced treatments. Find a doctor at nyp.org/heart. New York Presbyterian. New York Presbyterian Hospital, based on U.S. News & World Report 2025 to 2026 cardiology, heart, and vascular surgery rankings.
My name is Whitney Allen. I am a widow. My husband Ryan died. We never thought in a million years we'd have to use life insurance. The unexpected happened. With Ethos, it is so fast and easy. It's 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage through Ethos.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/game. That's ETHOS.com/game.
Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Hey team, Wendy here. If you're looking to consolidate your high-interest credit card debt with a personal loan, take a look at SoFi's stats. A SoFi personal loan comes with low fixed rates, no fees required, and as soon as same-day funding. That looks good on paper, but SoFi also passes the eye test. Having helped its members pay off over $33 billion in debt to date, score. View your rate for a SoFi personal loan at SoFi.com/stats today. Loans originated by SoFi Bank, NA member FDIC. Terms and conditions apply at SoFi.com/stats. NMLS 696891.
In the city that never sleeps and never stops talking sports, ESPN New York is always on. Now you can live and breathe everything New York sports wherever you are. On your radio dial, on the ESPN New York app, and streaming live on YouTube. However you watch or listen, ESPN New York is always on for you. Hear us, stream us, watch us. This is ESPN New York.
Welcome back to the show. Game Time is brought to you by Tullamore Dew Irish Whiskey, because when it's game time, it's Tully time. 7 p.m., the Devils host the Jets at the Prudential Center. Don will be on the call. 7:30, the Knicks host the Kings at Madison Square Garden. Coverage begins at 7 p.m. right here on 880 ESPN. And at 9 p.m., the Nets are in Phoenix to play the Suns. And that game will be on, yes, as will a Hot Stove show tonight. So if you're watching on the ESPN New York YouTube channel and going, why does Michael look so handsome in a jacket and tie? That's why. Because after this, I'll be driving to the Yes Studios to do the show with Jack. What will we have? What will we talk about? Tullamore Dew, the original triple distilled, triple blended, triple cask matured Irish whiskey. Be sure to grab a Tullamore Dew. Try the new Tullamore Dew Honey during today's action. Glass up to enjoying Tullamore Dew responsibly. So, yesterday I had, some strong comments about Aaron Glenn and, with the coaches that were fired and the quarterback that they have to select. And I said, the guys that made the mistakes on the coaches before are the guys that are going to bring in the new coaches. Guys that made the mistakes on Justin Fields are the guys that are going to be making the mistake again on the next quarterback. So, sometimes people don't want to hear the truth. So Michael M. Mezzi64, who has a Jet logo as his icon on X, he said, worry about your Yankees. And I laugh at that. I don't own the Yankees. They're not my Yankees. I announce Yankee games. But, geez, Michael M., I've been doing a sports radio show in New York now for a quarter of a century. I don't just talk about my Yankees. I've gotten a lot of this over the last couple of weeks. The Yankee guy. I'm much more than that, much more complicated and nuanced. But worry about your Yankees. The Steinbrenners have not sold me any shares of the team. I don't own the Yankees. Thus, they are not my Yankees. So I can talk about the Jets as much as I like, and I will continue to do so. And if you do not value what I say, then you should ignore it. And I look at your profile, you shouldn't follow me anymore. I love that. That's the ones that really make me happy, that make me smile. I don't care what you say. Or if I say I'm on the hot stove, say, who cares? And then you look and they follow you. Well, that makes you, I don't know, a stooge, a mope, any other word you want to plug in there. Why would you follow someone that you don't care about their opinion? Even Yankee fans that follow me, right? But they think that, I'm a puppet controlled by the Steinbrenners and the Yankee front office. Why would you be so foolish and to waste your time to follow me? You shouldn't even listen to what I have to say. Just saying. You know what I mean? Make it all make sense to me, my friends. Make it all make sense. Let's go to our good buddy Henry in South Carolina. Henry.
Michael, if I can make it make sense for you.
Please.
Part of the entertainment for these folks is the interaction. And I listen every day.
Thank
I'm
you.
hearing more and more Twitter. I'm hearing more and more Twitter feedback coming from you in the past few days. I don't know if it's because you've been snowed in,
probably
been a vacation, but I'm concerned about your mental health, Michael.
No,
I don't want you to go down these roads.
Hank, I'm good, man. I've never felt better. I'm really good, but I appreciate the concern.
Good. I'm glad. Now, a couple things before I get to the Knicks, if I may be so bold. I love your merch ideas. I think it's great that you're bringing it to us. You're bringing your ideas. You got plans. I like that. And if I may be bold enough to say that one of your loyal listeners, i.e. me, has worked in merch production for over 10 years. So if you're looking for any help in getting this done, I'd be honored to help you, ESPN New York, in getting these things made and to the people. And we can discuss further if you're not already in those in that part of the deal.
Well, what we've done so far, Henry, is that graphics joker, Joe Morashik, who is so talented, he already has the logo and everything. It's all done. Now I'm just trying to find prices to get it done on hats. I've never done anything like this, so I don't quite know where to go with it.
Well, this is right up my alley. This is what I do 8 hours a day while listening to your show. So if this is something that you're looking for, I can.
All right, we'll put
New Jersey, New York native. Maybe I can help you out.
We'll put you on hold, and you could give your information to Ray, and I might contact you.
That sounds great to me.
Perfect. What's up? Now,
on this note, I worry that any big move that the Knicks are going to make this season is something that we're going to look back on and look at. I'm a big YouTube sports guy, and they have little mini documentaries on these things. I had a nightmare that I'd be looking at a documentary or some sort of think piece about why this was the worst thing that a growing franchise could do in the middle of the season. I mean, I love Giannis. He's fun to watch, but I think that this team is predicated on a couple things. One, the chemistry that they've already built up for a number of years. And two, the hopes of this season in particular are predicated on the absence of a lot of players that they thought weren't going to be in their way this year, which doesn't feel very good. And it just seems very hasty to me to dip deeper than to – I could understand moving on from KAT, but, like, if we're talking Josh Hart or OG Anunoby, It feels like a hasty move on a team that is continuing to build success, even though we're seeing them slump right now.
Well, I essentially agree with you, and even when it comes to Antetokounmpo, and I'll break it down a little bit more when we come back after the break, but there's parts about Antetokounmpo that scare me as well. And one of the charms of this Knicks team, it's essentially been built. They've been together. It's the cohesion of growing together. Now, they made a major move when they got KAT, and they sent two pieces that were part of that growth, DiVincenzo and Randall. Randall's played very, very well for the Timberwolves, but they made the guess that, you know what, we can only go so far with Julius. Two guys that really like to hold the ball, Randall and Brunson. Well, you got rid of Randall, you brought in KAT, seemed like the perfect fit. Last year it did. I think the Knicks went all in when they got rid of Tibbs, and I think that was the wrong move. And I'm not saying that he's the greatest coach in the world, but all the things that we didn't like about Tibbs, he didn't play the bench that deep. He was reliant on certain players. The offense was too slow. Well, here we are on January 27th, and we look up, and Mike Brown has whittled the bench down to 3 men. Just what Tibbs had. He excommunicated Clarkson. He's excommunicated Kolek. Yabusele never really caught any kind of traction with this team. And all of a sudden, their pace isn't that great. This is the Tom Thibodeau team. But who's better running a Tom Thibodeau team than Tom Thibodeau? We thought bringing in Mike Brown, they're going to speed things up. They're going to use so many guys on the bench. It hasn't happened. Now, all of a sudden, we're talking about breaking up a team that went to Game 6 of the Eastern Conference Finals. This team's been so bad for so long. I think that maybe they forgot how much of a dumpster fire it was for so long. And you want to break things up after Game 6 of the Eastern Conference Finals when you would assume that the next step would be a finals appearance. But they didn't have the patience, and I guess some players complained to to Dolan, and Dolan ended up firing Thibodeau. Is it going to be the right move? As Bondy said, doesn't matter what Mike Brown does in January. It matters what he's going to do in the playoffs. But if they don't get to the Eastern Conference Finals, at least a major mistake. Hey, it's the last call for football on FanDuel. One final Sunday, one last kickoff. The final chance to place your bets before the NFL season closes its tab. This is Super Bowl 60, and FanDuel is making sure that you're in on it. If you're a new customer, bet $5 and get $200 in bonus bets if you win. So whether you're backing the favorite, riding with the underdog, or building one last same-game parlay, make it count. Because after the Super Bowl, the season's over, and football is officially done. Last call for football on FanDuel, an official sportsbook partner of Super Bowl 50. Visit FanDuel.com/local to get started. 21 plus and physically present in New York. First online real money wager only. $5 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets, which expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. For help with a gambling problem, call 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/ESPN. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/ESPN. That's ZipRecruiter.com/ESPN. ZipRecruiter.com/ESPN.
ZipRecruiter. 880 ESPN, WHSQ, and WCBS-FM HD2, New York. A good karma Brands radio station.
There are a lot of reasons why people buy at Ramsey Mazda. It's their selection, it's their customer service, and it's their savings. Lease a new 2025 Mazda CX-50 2.5S Select with all-wheel drive for $179 for 33 months. Or buy with 0.9% APR financing for 72 months. Start shopping now at RamseyMazda.com. Choose wisely. Choose Ramsey Mazda. Call 833-853-2970 for these details. VIN SN379853. MSRP $33,425. Zero security deposit. APR $14.27 per month for $1,000 finance and $2,226.
When it comes to meat and seafood, selection matters, and no one beats Wild Fork Foods. To everyday essentials, to high-quality steaks, to seafood and more, every product is blast frozen to lock in peak flavor and freshness so you get restaurant-quality meats at home for amazing prices. Shop in person at 7 locations across Long Island and New Jersey, or you can order online for same-day delivery. It's easy, it's convenient, and the prices are wild. WildForkFoods.com.
If you've been injured in an accident that wasn't your fault, then you need a lawyer who knows New York's unique personal injury and workers' compensation laws. At the Parisman Firm, they have decades of experience handling all types of accident cases and a proven track record of delivering huge results. Their team has already recovered nearly $1 billion for injured New Yorkers. From construction to car accidents and slips and falls, they've got you covered. Call the Parisman Firm now at 718-WORKERS, where your case is their cause. Get the justice you deserve today.
New year, new season, same goal. Feel good and stay in the game. But if neck pain, back pain, joint pain, or sciatica is holding you back, it's time to handle it. I'm Bart Scott, and I'm telling you to call Dr. J. Shaw at Soundwell Pain. Dr. Shaw is an Ivy League trained, double board certified, and he specializes in getting people back to living pain-free. No surgery, no scars, no long recovery, no pain medication. Just precise, non-surgical, image-guided treatments that work. Same day or next day appointments are available with offices in Woodbridge, Livingston, and Inglewood. Stop playing through pain. Go to SoundwellPain.com. Relief starts today.
Save more on the brands pros trust at Lowe's. Right now, get up to 35% off select major appliances and choose from our wide lineup of top brands. Plus, save $100 on a Little Giant 22-foot multi-position ladder, now just $189. Built for strength, flexibility, and job site versatility. Pros, these savings will only be here for a limited time. Lowe's, we help, you save. Valid through 1/30 while supplies last. Selection varies by location. See Lowe's.com for more details.
Welcome back to Yeah, That's a Pepper Thing. First up, we've got Harrison wrapping his Dr. Pepper in a tiny quilt so it feels at home. Oh, how tender. That's a Pepper Thing. And over to Becca, who's whispering affirmations to her can.
You're sweet. You're unique. You're the best thing I ever poured over ice.
She swears it makes it taste better. It's not a science thing, but it's a Pepper Thing. Why do they all do it? All for that sweet, delicious, truly one-of-a-kind taste of Dr. Pepper. It's a Pepper Thing.
Welcome back to the show. Fastest 2 hours in sports talk radio. We're trying to solve the Knicks' problems, and I told you I'd give you my take on Antetokounmpo. I'd be awfully careful about breaking this team up to acquire a guy who's had 2 separate calf injuries this year, who'll probably be out till the end of February. At best, middle February, 3rd week of February, simply because of the Achilles problem. Or the calf problem. And we've seen in the past that Achilles injuries, Durant, Halliburton, Tatum, they lead to this. They lead to Achilles injuries. And then you're out for a year. And you heard what not Phillips' dad, Steph Bondy said. This is a guy who his game is predicated on explosion. He's not going to be the same explosive guy. Durant is playing closer to the floor, and he's been able to come back and be that guy. It'll be interesting to see how Tatum is and how Halliburton is. It doesn't mean it's a death sentence, but if you make the trade for Antetokounmpo, you better be sure that his Achilles is in good shape. You better be able to make that examination. And one other thing, I would not make the deal at the trade deadline. That's one thing that I disagree with Steph Bondy about. You cannot get this team cohesive enough in that short amount of time in order to have it work in the postseason. It's a long journey to get to the NBA Finals and to all of a sudden just shake it all up. I think the Knicks' best chance of getting to the Finals is keep this team together and figure it out. Figure it out. Let's go to John in Chatham. John.
Hi, Michael.
Hello, John.
Michael, we're not talking, in my opinion, we're not talking Giannis. We're not talking Nick defensive woes. If we never made the trade and we kept Tibbs. Can I respond to a caller, Michael, to the Bart and Carlin show?
Sure. What do you got?
He said he'd trade Brunson because the Knicks will never win a championship with an undersized guard who doesn't play defense. And he says Brunson doesn't compare to players Isaiah Thompson and Stefan Curry who won championships.
Well, Steph Curry doesn't. Steph Curry wasn't a great defender.
No, and Isaiah Thompson wasn't a good
Thomas.
defender. Can I point out to this brainiac that Isaiah Thompson, Isaiah Thomas, as his backcourt mate, was Hall of Fame shooting guard Joe Dumars, and Stephen Curry's backcourt mate was probably soon to be Hall of Famer Klay Thompson. It's a failure. Brunson is alone. It's a failure of the Knicks front office to have a good player partnered with Jalen Brunson.
Well, I think that, I think it was Bart who made that comment, and Bart certainly is entitled to his opinion. I think they can win with Brunson. They came within a couple of wins of going to the NBA Finals last year. You got to surround him with the right people. He's a great player who's not a good defender. There are a lot of people that have played on championship teams that are not good defenders. Now, I've heard the story that you don't really win with undersized guards. Steph Curry has won plenty of championships. Isaiah Thomas, not Thompson, has won a championship with the Pistons as well. Actually, two of them. So I don't think that's an issue. The thing that John is right about is that you got to surround him with the right people. That's the key. Surround him with the right people. So Adam Schefter just tweeted this out. Jets head coach Aaron Glenn and Tanner Engstrom had multiple conversations about the role moving forward. Ultimately, they made the mutual decision to move on. The Jets' search for a new offensive coordinator will start immediately. What did Glenn get right in putting his first staff together? What did he get right? And why do we have any kind of faith that'll get it right now? What did he get right? You're going to get rid of an offensive coordinator when you gave him a quarterback that can't play. How's that on the offensive coordinator? Your expertise is defense, and you fired the defensive coordinator that you hired with 3 or 4 games left in the season. What did he get right other than the special teams coordinator? So this is 9 coaches off of his staff that he's gotten rid of since Friday. 9. So now we think somebody's going to wave a magic wand and sprinkle pixie dust on the Jets and have them all of a sudden become smart about what kind of staff they're going to put together. And please, riddle me this. If you're going to make all these changes, why did you wait until the Friday before the championship games? You could have done this at the end of the season and had your pick of coordinators and coaches that have now been gobbled up by other coaches that have been hired. Why did you wait till Friday? Does that make any sense? Does that make you feel good about the direction that the Jets are headed in, that they took until Friday to get rid of these people, and they took until the Tuesday after the championship games to get rid of the offensive coordinator? How does it make sense? Tell me how that makes sense. So you've essentially put yourself behind the 8 ball when you didn't have to. You didn't have to do this to yourself. I don't get it. And again, we're supposed to feel good about it. Well, you know what? He cut his losses rather than stay with the people that were mistakes. But who made the mistakes? Is he that clueless that all of these coaches that he brought in failed and none of it's on him? None of it. He hired the defensive coordinator. He hired the offensive coordinator. He hired the coaches that he's gotten rid of. And now he's going to be the guy who hires the replacements, and we're supposed to feel good about it. I don't get it. I don't get it. I mean, you talk about dysfunction at the Jets. I'm not blaming this on Woody Johnson. You think Woody Johnson knows if Tanner Engstrom's a good offensive coordinator? If Steve Wilkes is a good defensive coordinator? This is on Aaron Glenn and Darren Muji. They made the mistake. Now, we had on Brian Costello yesterday, and Brian said, well, it's hard for a first-time coach to put a staff together. Then don't hire first-time coaches. Right there is exhibit A, B, and C. If they don't know how to put together a staff, then you're crushing your first year. You're crushing it. And how do you blame Tanner Engstrom's offensive coordinating when you hand him Justin Fields? You handed him Justin Fields. That was another mistake you made. This was the guy you chose. You did. And you told Engstrom, here, make this work. How'd it work out? Let's go to Ryan in Ronkonkoma. Ryan.
Hi, Michael. How you doing?
I'm good.
I'm a big Jets fan, and I got to say, they find new ways to amaze me every single day. Here's my biggest point. This is pretty much like the biggest head coach vacancy in the last few years, right?
Yep.
What respectable offensive or defensive coordinator doesn't see the writing on the wall and being like, why would I work for the Jets and Aaron Glenn when this guy is pretty much a lame duck coach? And why wouldn't I just go somewhere where I could start new with a new coach where I would have job security, at least for the most part? Because clearly Aaron Glenn has no idea what he's doing, and I just don't understand what he's doing with this team. This is just absolutely ridiculous. I can't see any respectable offensive or defensive coordinator being like, yes, I want to possibly waste the next year of my life coaching for a team that, I'm most likely going to be looking for another job in 2027.
It's a great point. I should have brought it up. I give you credit for jarring me. This is essential. I don't care that he has 4 years left on his contract. He is a lame duck coach. He's a lame duck coach. That's what it comes down to. So, what good offensive and defensive coordinator go, this is what I want. This is the guy I want. Doesn't make sense. Why would you do it? Unless the only way I could think that would be attractive is you think you'll get the job if they get rid of Glenn. That's an awful big leap to take. So in all likelihood, you're going to bring in a neophyte. You're going to bring in a neophyte. Wink Martindale, is he going to be your defensive coordinator? And you think Wink Martindale and Aaron Glenn will butt heads? Wink Martindale and Brian Dable butted heads. Maybe Wink Martindale look at it, well, I'll get this job. The whole thing is so dysfunctional. How can anybody defend it? Stephen in Pearl River. Stephen.
Well, Michael, that guy took the words out of my mouth. With all the head coaching talent that just shook loose, all right? I'm surprised nobody is whispering in the billionaire's ear, Mr. Ambassador. How about Mr. Embarrassment, okay? That nobody's say, look, it's not the money. No, what you just said is so relevant. Who would want to take any jobs with this guy? I mean, he just fired everyone that he hired. And why wouldn't you bring in McDermott? Why wouldn't you bring in any of these guys for an interview? I don't get it. And you know what? It's a recipe, Jet fans, the hardcore Jet fans, I feel so badly for them because it's going to be a rough next couple of years. Unless they get lucky, unless they just something drops into their lap by accident. You know, maybe they'll have reverse Zach Wilson where they'll pick a guy who's just going to be magic. I don't know what to say. I feel terrible for the Jets.
But you know what? Let's say they pick a quarterback, and Mel Kiper is making the case that they should draft Ty Simpson. You feel comfortable? I mean, Steve Young said yesterday, and I respect him as much as anybody with any NFL takes, that the Jets are where quarterbacks go to die. That's where they go to die. Mark Sanchez, Sam Darnold, Zach Wilson. So let's say they do. Let's say that Trinidad Chambliss loses his case against the NCAA and they choose Trinidad Chambliss. Who's to say that they don't mess him up? So even if they do get a quarterback, then they win 4 games next year, Aaron Glenn's going to be gone, and then you get into that ugly cycle. A new coach, is he going to like this quarterback? I mean, that was one of the things that the Giants had to consider them when they were interviewing people. Do you like Jackson Dart? Now, the GM stays the same. And from talking to Brian Costello, it looks like Muji would probably keep his job, although he is beholden to Glenn that he has the job. And why they kept him, the only thing I can think of is pride. I don't want to like an idiot after firing Saleh, firing Gase, and then firing this guy 1 year into a 5-year contract. So that, I mean, human nature being what it is, I guess I could buy that a little bit. But when people come to me, he has so much money invested in the guy. Nonsense. His family owns Johnson & Johnson. You know how much powder and Band-Aids are sold every single day? Money is not an issue. The money he owes Aaron Glenn and his staff. And by the way, Aaron Glenn just got rid of 9 of his staff, so you're going to have to pay them anyway. So since he was going to get rid of 9 guys on his staff, if you got rid of him, it would have essentially cost $40 million and maybe another like 10. And I'm not saying that you should have fired him, but the reason that you don't fire him is because of money is the wrong reason, especially this cycle when there were so many legitimate coaches available. I mean, you look at the Knicks, they fire a coach they shouldn't have fired, and the Jets don't get rid of a coach where you can make the case that if you're going to get rid of a coach, this was the year to get rid of him because of all the people that were actually available. Rick in Cold Spring. Rick.
Yeah, hi. OG Anamilli recently is talking about not getting enough touches. KAT and Bridges' numbers are down. I'm not sure why we're not blaming the Brown offense.
You have to.
Brunson is 21st in the league in assists. Kate Cunningham has 9.7 a game. Brunson has 6. The management was supposed to fix the bench. They were supposed to fix the backup guard situation. So my question is, why aren't we blaming the guards, Mike Brown's offense and management, instead of KAT and Bridges?
I would agree, Rick. I think that KAT's ineffectiveness is because of the offense that was installed, which he very frankly said he was lost. He didn't know what he was supposed to be doing. So KAT was a second-team All-NBA last year. Now he's not even he's not a starter in the NBA All-Star game. I don't know if he's going to make the team. So you have to blame the different approach, which is trying to get back to the old approach. And you didn't want to be as reliant on Brunson as you were last year. Well, you're probably more reliant because now KAT is not a legitimate threat. So that makes you more reliant on the brilliance of Brunson to pull you out of this hole. So if you're going to blame Brown, then you have to blame Dolan. And we know that Brown was probably their 6th choice. That's not who they wanted to hire. They tried to hire people that were employed already, including Jason Kidd, and they were shot down by all the teams who said, take a walk. It came down to Brown because they didn't have a coach to replace Thibodeau. They fired Thibodeau without a sure replacement, thinking that they were going to be able to bulldoze their way into getting a team to release the coach that they have under contract, and no one bit. No one bit. You wanted a Udoka? Didn't happen. You want a Kid? Didn't happen. Everyone you asked for didn't happen because they're not scared of the big bad Knicks. They're not going to help out the Knicks by giving them their coach. All the Knicks did by inquiring about those coaches, get those coaches big raises and extensions. Let's go to Richard in Manhattan. Richard.
Michael, the day you leave the Yankees, the value of the Yankees will decrease by 1%.
Why is that?
because you're that valuable to the Yankees as a spokesman, as a representative. You're just almost as important as a guy like Aaron Judge.
Oh,
That's how much
stop,
you mean.
Richard, stop.
I mean it. All right. Now, one other point about Judge. He's got 3 MVPs.
Mm-hmm.
Ricky Henderson, Ken Griffey Jr., and Henry Aaron combined for 3 MVPs. That's how great this guy is. That, man, people just take him for granted. He's got as many MVPs as those 3 immortals. Okay.
And should have 4.
Sure. I want to see him get 5. Then we can compare him to, without a World Series, 5 MVPs or 5 rings of Jeter. Which is greater? That'll be a great topic, but we got to wait on that a little bit. Let's see. I don't know which way we'll go on that yet. All right, Mike Brown. The players are getting what they deserve. They wanted Tibbs out. This is what – when I saw Tibbs 9 days ago hugging Draymond Green and Steph Curry after a game, which we lost 7 out of 9, that KAT got mugged by Draymond Green, had his leg dragged, could have gotten injured, and this guy, he's not engaging with them. He's hugging them and laughing after the game. Mike Brown is a great guy, but he's an assistant coach. He may not be able to do anything. Now, I don't get him 5 All-Stars. You can get me Durant and LeBron and Giannis. I don't know if this guy can coach. So this year is a referendum on Mike Brown. Let's see what he does. We'll give him the year. If he doesn't do as close to Thibodeau, I'd have to get rid of him because that shows he cannot do it in the NBA coach-wise. He's had several stops. He hasn't done anything. He's a nice guy. He's a very nice assistant coach. But when I saw him hugging those guys after the game, that in a million years, that's not. I mean, somebody should say something to him. And if it was the players who got rid of Thibodeau, I don't feel sorry for any of them. Towns could have stuck his mouth out and said, look, Thibodeau made me who I am, and Brunson could have said something. They didn't. Okay, fellas, if this is what you want, this is what you're going to get. Let's see what happens. So give it a year. Give it a year. He deserves a year, rightfully, but let's see where we go with Mike Brown.
I
don't think so, Michael.
I agree with you about the hugging. Not only was Draymond Green nasty to KAT, overly aggressive to him, and said terrible things about him. I know you have a relationship with Draymond Green, but to hug him on the court after what he just did to KAT, where they got into it, it's a bad optic, man. You don't do stuff like that. And he's known as a really, really nice guy. And you also brought up something, Richard, that a lot of people don't bring up. Brunson did not step up and protect Tibbs. Tibbs made Brunson into the player that he is. He catered everything to Jalen Brunson. And Jalen Brunson repaid him in full by being an unbelievable player. But you mean to tell me Jalen Brunson couldn't go to Jim Dolan and say, no, we got to keep this guy? He kept a very low profile. So whatever players were the ones that said we don't want the guy, the people that supposedly loved him didn't stick up for him. Let's go to Spike in St. Pete. Spike.
Well, you sound full of energy today. That snow picked you up a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's good. I just love talking to you. Okay, there's one thing nobody's mentioned at all. I'm looking at the schedule, starting from the Kings tonight until the Cavs on the 24th of next month. Do you know the Knicks have 4 back-to-backs in a period of, I guess it's 4 days, of 28, 29 days?
And, Spike, that takes Mitchell Robinson out of at least 4 games then.
Thank you. Thank you. They finished the game. I told you the last time I called and you said kind words to me. I really appreciate all that stuff, what I'm going through. And I'll tell you something. They finished Landry Shamet. As I told you this last time, I'll repeat it again because callers come in and out. At Wichita State, he was a point guard, and he has size. And he finished the game, and he took out Mikal Bridges. And here's your problem with Mikal Bridges in a nutshell, Michael. Real simple. He's 6'6", 6'7". He's lanky, whatever you want to call it. That's the word I would use. And when it comes to a wing, an athletic wing who's close to his size or bigger, who's got sometimes 20, 30 pounds on him. Am I close?
Mm-hmm.
He shies away. He doesn't want the contact. And if you look up his career, he averages about 2 free throws a game.
I heard that stat over the weekend, and my son told me it's amazing, Spike. A guy like that goes to the free throw line twice a game. It's unbelievable.
Well, how do you get to the free throw line? You make contact, or you do a floater, or you fake. But I'll tell you, in defense of him, he has one of the all-time great, like Bernard King has. I'm not comparing the players, fadeaway baseline jump shots. Now he fades away because he doesn't want the contact, and he showed out in the playoffs last year. I'm not a Mike Brown fan. When you told me he was the 8th or 7th or 6th choice, you should have kept Tibbs. And I know I love your vindictiveness because I'm just like you. I love it. And I'm sure Tibbs would give the $30 million back. He really would, the way his lifestyle is, taking care of his older mother, and take this team and bring them back. And if they listen to Mikal Bridges, the rumors were Mikal Bridges and who was the other guy? I forget.
I don't know who the other guy is.
Yeah, I know. It was with Kel Bridges, and that Brunson didn't come to his defense. I understand, but look, they start tonight. I want 10-4 or 9-5 in the last 14 with 4 back-to-backs, which means 10 games for Mitchell Robinson, and finishing with that small lineup shows you that Mike Brown outcoached Nick Nurse. That's what I got to say.
Good stuff, Spike. Thank you. I hope you feel good. When we come back, we're going to talk to an old friend, Ken Davidoff. You used to read him all the time in the New York Post, and he walked away from it all in really the prime of his career. And I'm going to talk to him about that. He has a book that's coming out as well. We'll talk to Ken in just a moment when we return right here on the K Show on ESPN New York.
Hey, sorry I missed you. Your call is very important to me. Just not as important as the New Jersey Lottery's Green Ball promotion being back on Pick 3 evening drawings. See, if the green ball's drawn, that's a free second chance to win. So, yeah, you get it. It's only through February 1st, though, so try me after then.
Must be 18 or older to buy a lottery ticket. Please play responsibly. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. For game odds and promotion details, visit njlottery.com/pick3.
Calling all Hoops fans.
Get off the bench and onto the court for another exciting basketball season with
BetMGM,
an authorized gaming partner of the NBA. From same-game parlays to live bets, you can call your shot during any play.
Rooting for your favorite players?
You'll find all sorts of markets for betting on any star's performance on any given night. Don't miss a single highlight or buzzer-beating shot by getting all your picks in with BetMGM. Ready to shoot your shot? Download the app today and make your bets. BetMGM.
Make it legendary.
BetMGM and GameSense remind you to play responsibly. See BetMGM.com for terms. 21 years of age or older to wager and physically present in New York only. Subject to eligibility requirements. Rewards vary and expire in 7 days. Gambling problem? Call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369.
Hey, New York and New Jersey, Boost Mobile has an unlimited talk, text, and data plan that's only $25 a month forever, meaning you'll only ever pay $25 a month for the rest of your life. Who wouldn't want unlimited wireless when it only costs $25 a month forever? If you don't, you must be one of those people who enjoy overpaying for their phone plan. $25 a month forever is truly as good as it gets, so go online and switch now at boostmobile.com. After 30 gigabytes, customers may experience slower speeds. Customers will pay $25 a month as long as they remain active on the Boost Mobile Unlimited plan.
At Uline, they know going the extra mile takes hard work. For companies pushing to go further, Uline will go the distance with you. 24/7, they answer the phone to get you the shipping and industrial supplies you need. Business can move fast. Unexpected large orders, adverse weather, new safety guidelines, and changing economic trends. Uline works hard keeping 41,000 items ready to ship, minimizing detours on your way to the extra mile. Visit uline.com.
This is Rick Brunson, the assistant coach from the New York Knicks. I'll be driving to our games this season in style in my new Jeep Gladiator from Princeton Jeep. My friends at Princeton Jeep gave me all-star treatment, and you can expect the same thing. Just mention I sent you, and they'll treat you like family. Princeton Jeep has tons of inventory and great deals on new vehicles. Visit Princeton Jeep at 1045 State Road in Princeton, New Jersey, or online at PrincetonJeeps.com and tell them Rick Brunson sent you.
At City Harvest, we believe no New Yorker has to go hungry. With your help, we're on the road 365 days a year, rescuing over 77 million pounds of nutritious food and delivering it free to millions of New Yorkers, transforming surplus food into sustenance, sustainability, and smiles. Rallying thousands of New Yorkers to power a network of nourishment across our city. One day, one meal, and one New Yorker at a time. That's how we feed good. Donate at cityharvest.org.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6759. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-6759. That's 800-575-6759. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Welcome back to the show. Now, very few people in any walk of life walks away from their job when they're technically really at the top of the game. Jim Brown did. Barry Sanders did. Sandy Koufax did. Now, Sandy Koufax did because, his arm was killing him and he didn't want to go through the pain, so he walked away after an incredible season. Now, I wouldn't embarrass Ken Davidoff and put him in the class of Sandy Koufax, but he's certainly near the top of the industry when he decided to just leave the New York Post and say, all right, I'm done. And so Ken Davidoff, you read him in Newsday, you read him in the Post, joins us now. Ken, how you doing?
I'm great, Mike. And to be fair, I think Sandy and I were both bar mitzvahs, right? So we do have that.
It all ties together. Okay, so people want to know. You didn't get a chance to tell people. Why'd you say, okay, I'm done, when you could have that job for a long, long time?
Frankly, Mike, I was burned out, fully burned out. If you're going to work that hard at a job, you have to love it or at least enjoy it, right? And I had reached the point in early 2022 where I was unhappy, and my wife and my son could see that. So it just reached the point of, why are you doing this job anymore if you're that unhappy? So that's why I chose to kind of just jump off a cliff professionally and just call it quits.
So I'm curious, so after you walk away, you might have been done with it, but I always wonder, like, when I walk away from this radio show, there'll be stories that are out there that go, gee, I wish I could opine on this for 2 hours. Is there any story that happened since you walked away that you said, well, I would have liked to have written about that or covered that?
So, Mike, my last day of work was March 1st, 2022. So we're approaching the 4-year anniversary. I'm not great at math. So 365 times 4, 1,460 days, something like that.
Right.
Of that count, there have been 2 days where I wish I could have written a column. And one was the day that Willie Mays died, because I got to meet Willie when I was 7 years old, and he was my dad's favorite player, just, the emotional ties there. And one was when Edwin Diaz got hurt in the World Baseball Classic, because I just felt like it was unfair that Edwin Diaz got his money and Steve Cohen got a refund, but the fans got screwed with that, like the fans who bought Mets tickets. So those are the 2 columns in the last 1,300 or so days that I could have written. But the other 1,298 days or so, I've been quite content.
I'll tell you what, I am right on board with you with the WBC. It's kind of like I'm torn, Ken. I love the event. The last time it happened, it was thrilling, especially USA and Japan, and then Ohtani against Trout. It was made for TV. But I do wonder, every team, like the Yankees, must be holding their breath with Aaron Judge playing in the WBC. You're working for one company, but you're doing something for free for your country. It's a tough call, man. And Edwin Diaz, I mean, that essentially ended Buck Showalter's career.
I agree, Mike. And That was my complaint about the WBC from the very beginning back in 2006. And to their credit, they have built a success, right? I mean, you look at Aaron Judge playing, and even beyond Judge, Skubal and Skeens pitching for Team USA. That's remarkable. I mean, with the Team USA pitching staffs used to be a joke because all the American pitchers said, "I'm not doing that," but now they're all in. But so to me, the last button that they should button is to protect the fans of their core product of the Major League Baseball championship season, because you go to spring training and it's a skeleton crew, right? And not like they're giving you a discount to go to George Steinbrenner Field or anywhere else in March. They're still charging you the same amount. And then when these guys do get hurt, again, we're just talking from a very legal standpoint here. I like to pretend to be a lawyer. Like the player is covered, the employer is covered, but the fans are not covered.
Now, I don't want people to think, well, Ken Davidoff is just sunning himself on a beach in these 4 years. You've written a book that's coming out shortly. It's called 101 Lessons from the Dugout. You co-wrote it with Harley Robart, who's a pediatrician and parent. What's the name?
Rothbard.
Okay. All right, a pediatrician parenting expert. And this caught my attention because it's written for young adults, and I've got an 11-year-old that plays travel baseball. So what's the book about?
Yeah, the book is it's 101 short lessons, 101 short chapters, really breaking down the game in all those different elements, hitting, pitching, fielding, and showing how each of these lessons that you learn on the field can be carried over into your regular life. So your son is Charlie, right, Mike?
Yep.
Yeah. So let's say Charlie, he comes to the field and he's hitting last today, and that's a punch in the gut, right? So how do you deal with that adversity? You put your head down and I'm just going to get after it. Look, you only hit the leadoff batter only hits leadoff once, right? Then we just go around and around. So just do the work necessary. And let's say, now let's go to school. Let's say Charlie's trying out for the school play, but he doesn't get the lead role. He gets the part with 2 lines. So same idea. Just attack those 2 lines with enthusiasm and hit the heck out of those 2 lines, and maybe next time you'll get the better part. And same thing, if you thrive as the number 9 hitter, then maybe you'll get moved up in the lineup.
It's funny because I kind of experienced that, a life lesson that he gave me. Last year he tried out for the travel A team, and he didn't make it, and all of his friends did, and he was on the B team, and he was crushed. And it was difficult to tell him that he had not made the team. And I just said to him, I said, Charlie, you don't have to play baseball to make Daddy happy. If you don't want to do it, you can walk away. And he goes, no, I want to do it, and I want to show them that they're wrong. And then he ended up making the A team, and he made it this year. So those are the kind of lessons that you get. But, there are a lot of things that I see in youth sports, because, Charlie is so young and Callie as well. Some of it's not good, Ken. Do you cover that as well?
To be frank, Michael, we don't get too into that element, which obviously I don't need to tell you is very real and very relevant and very prevailing. My hope is that we can not only convince young adults of the lessons in this book, but many of the adults, many of the grown-ups who are doing these administering, because I'm with you. My son is now 22, but he played travel ball, and there were elements that I really disliked, and I expressed those complaints to the people up top. But yeah, I'm hopeful with this book. Who really gave me hope, Mike, was Joe Girardi. Like when I showed Joe this book, and he was kind enough to offer an endorsement, he loved it, and he thought it could apply not only to the young people, but to the old people, the people in authority. So that is my hope. However high that might be.
All right, so you have Joe Girardi writing a blurb for you, Reggie Jackson, Bernie Williams, and David Wright does the forward. So this resonates with all of them because you don't get to that point as a great big leaguer without having experienced this. Everybody has experienced this at the youth level, and some people have good experiences and some bad. So, I'm not saying that this should be a handbook for parents, but you could teach lessons from the disappointments that you get on the field. I think it's a book that's long been needed.
I appreciate it, and obviously, Mike, from a financial standpoint, the parents are going to be the one buying the books for the kids, right? So obviously, we have to appeal to the parents as well as the young people. And yeah, the way this book is tied in with my career, what I told you about, just feeling burnout, it was so refreshing to me. This book is really my co-author's baby, and then I came in as the baby nurse. You know, when I read this book, the first draft, I said, this is wonderful. Like, I'm so excited to take a step back from, you know, why have the Yankees lost 4 of 6, or, you know, what's taken so long with Cody Bellinger, and just to talk about the joys of the game itself. You know, to talk about the bunt, you know, and the fielder's choice, and the game at that fundamental level. I've really enjoyed that.
Well, I can't wait to read it. I have not read it yet, but I will. It's 101 Lessons from the Dugout. When does it officially come out?
It comes out on February 5th, Mike, so next week. It's now available on Amazon as well as the publisher's website, which is Bloomsbury.
Good stuff. I wish you the best of luck with it. I hope it's a huge success for you and your co-author, and maybe we'll get you back in the newspaper industry now.
I don't know about that, but it's great to connect with you again, and I appreciate the few minutes. And just you keep kicking butt.
All right. Thank you so much, Ken, and good luck with the book. That's so great.
Thanks, Mike.
And really, if you have a kid of that age and you could look at the disappointments that they have, I mean, the story that I tell about Charlie taught me something about him more than it taught him, because I gave him the out. I said, listen, walk away. Because he was so crushed. You know, all of his buddies made the top team and he didn't. And he just worked really, really, really hard. And then he had a great, great coach who told him, you know, probably your best way to get there, you know, do some catching. And he became a really, really adept catcher. You know, at that age, catching is pretty much turning around and getting the ball from the backstop. But he actually caught the ball and he framed it. And I'm so proud of him that he made the A-team. So, you know, he taught me a lesson. So maybe these 101 lessons are something to look at, and I can't wait to read the book. All right, we come back. We're going to finish it up with your phone calls, 1-800-919-3776. Let's line it up. It's the last call for football on FanDuel. One final Sunday, one last kickoff, the final chance to place your bets before the NFL season closes its tab. This is Super Bowl 60, and FanDuel is making sure that you're in on it. If you're a new customer, bet $5, get $200 in bonus bets if you win. So whether you're backing the favorite, riding with the underdog, or building one last same-game parlay, well, make it count. Because after the Super Bowl, the season's over, and football is officially done. Last call for football on FanDuel, an official sportsbook partner of Super Bowl 60. Visit FanDuel.com/local to get started. 21 plus, physically present in New York. First online real money wager only. $5 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets, which expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. For help with a gambling problem, call 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369.
Listen, I know the mentality. You try to play through pain and walk it off. Push through one more day. But when it comes to neck pain, back pain, sciatica, or nerve pain, that's a losing game. That's when you call Dr. J. Shaw at Sandwell Pain. Dr. Shaw is one of New Jersey's top pain specialists, Ivy League trained, double board certified, and he focuses on non-surgical solutions that get real results. No cuts, no downtime, no dependence on pain meds. He builds you a custom game plan for you so that you can move better, feel better, and live pain-free. Same day or next day appointments are available. Visit SandwellPain.com. Stop managing pain. Start beating it.
There are a lot of reasons why people buy at Ramsey Mazda. It's their selection, it's their customer service, and it's their savings. Lease a new 2025 Mazda CX-30 2.5S all-wheel drive for $189 for 33 months. Start shopping now at RamseyMazda.com. Choose wisely. Choose Ramsey Mazda. Call 833-853-2970 for details. VIN SM844-681. MSRP $29,075. Zero security deposit ends 2/2/26.
If you've been injured on a construction site, then you need a lawyer who knows New York's unique labor laws. At the Parisman Firm, they have decades of experience handling construction accident cases and a proven track record of delivering huge results. Their team has already recovered nearly $1 billion for hardworking New Yorkers. From scaffold accidents to slip and falls and equipment failures, they've got your back. Call the Parisman Firm now at 718-WORKERS. That's right, 718-WORKERS, because your case is their cause. Get the justice you deserve today.
To the net. Score!
The New York Islanders are back in action with a brand new theme night schedule you won't want to miss. Bring your friends out for the holidays and take home a custom holiday replica jersey or arrive early for special bobblehead giveaway nights for Matt Barzell and Bo Horvat.
Barzell for Horvat. Score!
Explore the full theme night schedule at NewYorkIslanders.com.
Looking for the best meat and seafood at unbeatable prices? Get to Wild Fork Foods. They offer the widest selection of meats and seafoods you'll find anywhere. Everything is blast frozen to lock in flavor and nutrients. From beef and poultry to seafood, pork, and even exotic and game meats, you'll get the best value for your buck. Visit one of their 7 locations across Long Island and New Jersey, or order online for same-day delivery at wildforkfoods.com. Wild Fork Foods, your neighborhood's meat and seafood market.
Not all F words are bad. Some are actually great, like fast, free fiber for 4 months. Yep, switch to Optimum Fiber for as low as $25 a month. Plus, for a limited time, you can get 4 months free, HBO Max included for 1 year, and a 5-year price lock. Don't wait, this free fiber deal won't last long, and the fastest, most reliable, most consistent internet speeds await you. Call 888-4-OPTIMUM or visit Optimum.com/free today. Terms apply. See Optimum.com for details.
What if your instincts could pay off? With Robinhood Prediction Markets, you could put your sports IQ to work on the games you know best. It's not you against the house. It's you participating in a live market. Buy or sell your predictions all game long. Trade every play with Robinhood. Visit Robinhood.com/predict. That's Robinhood.com/predict. Futures and cleared swaps trading involves significant risk and is not appropriate for everyone. Event contracts are offered by Robinhood Derivatives LLC, a registered futures commission merchant and swap firm.
Rich Eisen here. LinkedIn Jobs is stepping things up with their new AI assistant so you can feel confident you're finding top talent. Get this. Employees hired through LinkedIn are 30% more likely to stick around for at least a year compared to those hired through the leading competitor. Hire right the first time. Post your job for free at linkedin.com/Eisen, then promote it to use LinkedIn Jobs' new AI assistant, making it easier and faster to find top candidates. That's linkedin.com/Eisen to post your job for free. Terms and conditions apply. And promote it to use LinkedIn Jobs' new AI assistant, making it easier and faster to find top candidates. That's linkedin.com/Eisen to post your job for free. Terms and conditions apply.
Life is full of choices, some big, some small. And when you choose an H&R Block Tax Pro, you're choosing the largest network of tax expertise to be in your corner. For when your big ambitions need help with the small details. For when your 6 figures come from 6 different places. For when your gaming stream becomes your revenue stream. For when your business's year 1 needs 70 years of tax know-how. At H&R Block, we've seen it all, and we're here to help you make the most out of your money for life outside the box. Get started at hrblock.com.
Step inside the game you love with the NBA app. Tap to watch every game as it's happening.
Brunson does it again!
And never miss a moment of the jaw-dropping action. Get closer to the players than anywhere else. Follow the latest schedules, scores, and stats. Keep up with every story from across the league. And with NBA ID, it's all personalized to you. The game lives here. Download today.
Welcome back to the show, everybody. You know, I mentioned this yesterday, and it gained a little traction, but I just wanted to talk a little bit more about it. And if you'd like to talk things over, 1-800-919-3776. We've got some time to take some phone calls before the end of the show. And, you know, it's the situation at the Washington Post. So what I said yesterday is that they weren't going to cover the Olympics, and they were not sending their 2 Washington National beat writers to spring training. When I said that, I was unaware that they had reversed their decision on the Olympics, that they were going to send 4 people to the Olympics because there was such an outcry. But then there came news that they were going to fire about 300 people on the Washington Post staff. And if I could get Jeff Bezos on the show, I would ask him this simple question. So he owns the Washington Post. He also owns Amazon. So if you own Amazon, you essentially own the world. During Christmas, all you see, Amazon delivery trucks delivering boxes to doorways. I mean, the guy is printing money. Amazon Prime, printing money. He's, if not the richest man in the world, I think he's second. That's how wealthy he is. And when he's all said and done, he might end up being a trillionaire. Now, I don't get into people's pockets. You can do what you want with your money. But why did you buy the Washington Post if you were going to pillage it? If you were going to completely rip its lungs out. Why? So I know newspapers, print newspapers, it's not the greatest way to make a living. But this came as no surprise to you. So why did you buy it? Did you buy it for the power that you'd get for owning the Washington Post? Okay. Maybe that's why you bought it. Maybe that's why Elon Musk bought what was then Twitter. And it might be a money-losing proposition, but he has certainly gotten a voice and a table in the political spectrum. Maybe that's what Bezos wanted as well. But then Bezos also realized that when you own the Washington Post, there's kind of a civic responsibility where you might have to uncover some things that go on that people in power might not like. And all of a sudden, your other business might be impacted. So let's just destroy the Washington Post by cutting its legs out and firing people. Why'd you buy it, Jeff? Because the only thing I could compare it to is Rupert Murdoch. Rupert Murdoch is very wealthy. He's a billionaire. He's not close to the wealth that you have. Not close. For years, he has funded the New York Post at a loss because he realizes the value of having a voice in New York. The way that you should realize the value of having a voice in the world, owning the Washington Post, the prestigious Washington Post. Not only did Rupert Murdoch continue to fund a money-losing operation at the Post, today, or I think it might have been yesterday, he opened the California Post. So in an era where print newspapers are dying, Rupert Murdoch has opened up another paper in another major news area, in another major area in the world. So why is he willing to lose money, and you, who dwarf him in terms of the money that you have, are systematically destroying the Washington Post? I don't get it. Why'd you buy it? You can't tell me that if the newspaper loses $200 million a year, let's just say, what does that mean to you? You've got hundreds of billions of dollars. If the newspaper lost $200 million a day, it wouldn't impact you and what you own. So that would be my one question if he sat down here to my right. Why'd you buy it, Jeff? You didn't need it. Did you buy it to destroy it? To what end? And in this little game of life where you get to move around all the pieces, you're also destroying the lives of all the people that just lost their jobs. For what? And you destroyed a national institution. They were behind the Watergate papers and all of that. All the work that the Washington Post has done, and very quietly had one of the great sports sections in the country, and you're systematically just bringing it down. For what reason? It can't be the money. So what is it? It's one of the great questions, and I don't have an answer to it. Let's go to Manny in Flushing. Manny.
Hey, Mike, how you doing, sir?
I'm good, Manny. How are you?
I'm good, man. Listen, look, I had a problem with your two previous callers, Spike and Richard, when it involves to the Tibbs and Mike Brown. Listen, I appreciate what Tibbs did for 5 years. He got in the playoffs for 4 out of the 5 years, including the conference finals berths. Okay, listen, firing him wasn't the best thing to do, but I have a problem is that we love to talk about his credentials, like his success, rather than his flaws. But you look at Mike Brown. Listen, I'm not saying Mike Brown ain't perfect, okay? But he's 27-18 with the 4 best records in conference. Yes, the Knicks should be winning better, but I have a problem with all these Tibbs supporters. Like, we always talk about his credentials, his success, but not his flaws. But Mike Brown, who, mind you, he won championships as an assistant with San Antonio and Golden State, and also he coached a team, the Cavaliers, to the finals with LeBron James. I'm just putting that out there.
Well, listen, Mike. The story on Mike Brown with the Knicks, Manny, is not going to be written until we see how far this team goes. But, we do a show every single day, and people love their team every single day. And right now, KAT is a shell of himself, a shell of what he was last year. And you say the Knicks have a good record. Their record at this time was better last year than it is now. But again, it doesn't matter until the playoffs come around. And Mike Brown took a team to the finals with one of the greatest players who ever lived. And are we going to give him credit for the 3 championships that he won with Steve Kerr as the head coach? I don't know about that. Mike Brown has lost a lot of jobs, too. And as I mentioned, one of the keys is he was not their first choice, their second choice, their third choice, or their fourth choice. They had to have a coach, and he does have credentials. Let him get to the 6th game of the Eastern Conference Finals, and then he would have equaled what Tibbs did. If he doesn't get to that point, then the firing makes no sense. I don't want to sit here and jump on Mike Brown, but I'm looking at a team that's not playing as well as last year's team was at this point. I'd love to know the players that went to Dolan and said, we can't play for Tibbs anymore, and whether or not they regret it now. Are they having as good a year as they had last year? I wonder who those players are. And for the players that didn't stand up and fight for Tibbs, I wonder if they are happy with their silence, because their silence makes them somewhat complicit. We'll come back again tomorrow at 1. More to talk about. I'm sure the guys coming up, they'll talk about another coach gone from the Jets. Tanner Engstrom is no longer the offensive coordinator. One after another, day after day, they are just breaking down an awful Jet season. But the architects of that season, they remain. Don, Hahn, and Rosenberg coming up in just a moment. And in the words of Billy Joel, life is a series of hellos and goodbyes. I'm afraid it's time for a goodbye again. See everybody. Have a wonderful day. Talk to you tomorrow at 1.
Talk about stepping up. Bang! Bang! It's time to level up your game. Introducing the all-new ESPN.